Hi, I'm Steve Sobek, and this is lesson number 7 in a series of video lessons on how to use the TI-84 graphing calculator. This particular lesson, the focus is on programming. Yes, the TI-84 calculator is programmable. Most people who have these calculators never utilize this feature, but you can if you listen to the rest of this video. Even though our application today is going to be very simple, we're going to have two parts. We'll get a little bit more complex in part 2. But even the simple application that we demonstrate today, you could go a long way with and do a lot of neat things if you tough it out and watch the rest of this lesson. All right, so what is our task today? We'd like to write a program that will prompt the user for the normal price of an item and the percent discount, and then the program will display the sale price of the item. For example, if a coat normally costs $80, is on a rack showing that all items are discounted by 15%, then your program should display the correct sale price as $68. Now, you need to understand that you could never write a program to do something that you don't understand how to do yourself without a program. All right, so hopefully you know how to solve this problem. You know that if you were trying to find the sale price, you would have to take the normal price of the item, $80, and subtract away how much you're saving. You're saving 15% of the normal price. How do we find 15% of the normal price? Well, we take 0.15 times the normal price, 0.15 times 80. And 0.15 times 80 is 12. And 80 subtract 12 is 68. The sale price of the item. All right, so you have to know how to do that before you could write a program to do that automatically for you. All right, now let's get into the calculator and show you how to write a program. On the calculator, we have a little button here, PRGM, that's for program. So we're going to first push that button. Oh, let me execute. I already wrote the program. Let me execute it just so you could see what we want this to look like before we actually write the code for it. So let me run this program, and you can see it's prompting us for the normal price. I think we said that the coat was $80, and the percent discount was 15%, so we're going to enter that as a percent, not 0.15, the decimal equivalent of 15%. And sure enough, the sale price it spits out is $68. Now, notice this was very user-friendly. I knew that I was supposed to type in the normal price because it prompted me with that. If all we had was blinking cursors, can you imagine going to a bank machine and have nothing but a blinking cursor? That wouldn't be very user-friendly. It always tells you exactly what to do. Please insert your card. Please type your 4-digit PIN number and hit enter, or specify the language. What type of transaction do you want to do? It's always telling you exactly what to do next. That's what we mean by user-friendly, and we want our programs to be the same. All right, so let me clear that off. And to write a new program, we hit this program button, and we want to, of course, highlight new. Hit the right arrow key 2 times. And choose number 1, create new. And it wants us to name the program. Now the program name can be up to 8 characters long. You can use letters, numbers, you could even use theta, but let me try to make this simple for us. Letters or numbers, but you have to start with a letter, not a number. Now we could just call this program A, program B, program C. But it's better to name it with something more descriptive, because eventually you're going to have a whole bunch of programs and you're not going to remember what program D does. or program S, you should name it with something descriptive. Notice that the blinking cursor is showing an A. That means you're all automatically in alpha lock. So we can type in letters without hitting alpha A, alpha B, alpha C. It's in alpha lock mode. So we'll just go ahead and type in, let's call this program discount. So here's the D. We're looking for that little green D above the X inverse button. So that gives us the D, I, S, C, O, where's the O? U, N, T. All right, and you're allowed again up to 8 characters. And you could put numbers in if you want. You know, we've already used 8 characters, but if we wanted to call it DIS1, DIS2, that would be permissible. All right, hit enter to accept that name. And right now we are in edit mode. We can see the name of the program, and then this colon precedes each command line. The command line that you type doesn't have to fit. You're not limited by the width of the screen. If it's longer than the width of the screen, it will continue on to the next line, but there will not be a colon here. That means when you're on line 2 and it's not there's no colon, it means you're still typing the command line for that line above it. All right, so we want to get some information from the user, and we want to give them a little bit of a prompt so that they know what to type in. Remember, we're asking, first of all, what is the normal price of the item? So to get information from the user, we're going to hit this program button. And at different types of commands or in different categories, these are CTL stands for control commands. These commands help you. Normally, a program is executed from top to bottom, but we could make it skip certain lines of code depending upon certain conditions being met or not, and we could make certain lines of code repeat over and over again. Okay, we call those looping structures. So we could have branching statements and looping structures, and we're going to get into that in the part 2. But we're going to make this program real simple, and we're going to go to I/O, input output. We want to get some input from the user, so hit the right arrow key one time, and we're going to use number 1 input command. So choose number 1, and it pops it. We're back here in edit mode. It pops that command in, and it's waiting for us to type the arguments, or what we use with this input command. If we want some words to appear, then we have to put those in double quotes. And so a double quote, yeah, there it is, right here. So we're going to have to hit, well, let's go into alpha lock. Second, alpha lock, so we don't always have to hit the alpha key. And then we could type in quotation marks, and then we're going to type in normal price. And I'll pause the video and restart it when I have that typed in. Okay, I have that typed in. The only thing you might have had difficulty finding was the space character between the 2 words, and that's right above the 0 key right here. All right, now we're done typing the name and the quotation mark, and we want to get out of alpha lock, so we're going to hit the alpha button one more time, and now it's a blinking black rectangle. There's no more A. We're out of alpha lock. We can now hit the comma key, and then we're going to name the variable in which we want to store the value that they type in. So why don't we use N for normal price. So that would be alpha N. So we'll hit the enter key to indicate that we're done with that command line. Now we talked about memory locations in lesson number 1 in our instructional videos. And you recall that we have many storage locations. Every letter of the alphabet can be used. So there's 26 storage locations where you can store values that they type in. And so I try to use variables that can remind me what it means. Okay, N for normal price. All right, we're ready now to prompt a user for the % discount. So again, we're going to hit the program button, hit the right arrow key to highlight IO for input output, choose number 1, input, and again we're going to get into alpha lock, second alpha, and here's your double quotes, and I'll pause the video and type in a % discount. Alright, I've typed that in. I'm now going to get out of alpha lock so I could type that comma. So I'll hit the alpha button to get out of alpha lock. Hit the comma, and let's use a P. See, the P, we would need to use alpha P. And that'll be the variable that we use to store the % discount. Hit enter to complete that. Remember though, as you're typing, all the things we talked about editing in lesson number 1 apply here as well. So you could always hit your left arrow key to go back, and you could delete values with a delete button. You could, if you leave out a letter, you could hit second insert and insert a value. Everything in that first video applies here. All right, let's hit the enter button to complete that command line. And now we have all the information we need to get the answer. So we're gonna calculate the answer, and we're going to store it in a variable. Maybe we'll call it S for the sale price. All right. Now, how do we calculate the sale price? We take the normal price, that would be stored in N, alpha N, and we subtract from that 15% of the normal price. Not 15%, depends on what, whatever they type in. We're storing that value. If it was 15, they would type in a 15 in P. So we need to change that 15 into a 0.15, and so to change a % into its decimal equivalent, we divide it by 100. So in parentheses, let's enter a P, alpha P, divided by 100. And that will move the decimal point to the left 2 places and change that 15 into a 0.15. And we're multiplying that by the normal price of the item. We're taking 15% of 80, or 15% in this case of N. So we'll type in alpha N. And that expression represents the answer. All right. Now, we don't want it to calculate the answer and then it just dissolve into oblivion. We have to store it somewhere so that we can later display it. All right, so we're going to store that into memory location S, I think is what we said. So here's the store button, store, and then we want alpha S, and that'll take this whole expression to the left of this right arrow means store. Take the whole expression, evaluate that, and store the result into memory location S. Okay, hit the enter key. All right, now we would like to force the program to display the answer. All right, so we're going to hit the program button, hit the right arrow key 1 time to highlight input output, and we want to display, that would be choose number 3, display, and we could just say display S, but why don't we first have it display some words like sale price is equal to. All right, so let's go into alpha lock, second alpha, double quotes. I'll pause the video and type in sell price equal. Okay, I typed in sell price, and I stopped right here because I haven't shown you where to get the equal sign yet. We're going to hit second test, which is right above the math button, and equal sign is number 1. And that puts the equal sign in there for us. And then we're going to need a alpha double quotes to close that, and a comma. And then we want it to display S, so alpha S, and hit enter, and that completes the program. All right, let's go back to the home screen, and then we'll execute this program. Let's do a second quit, and let's hit the program button now, and we want to execute program named discount, which is program number 1. So we'll hit number 1 and then hit the enter key, and it's prompting us for the normal price. Why don't we start by typing in $80 and hit the enter key. Although as I'm looking at this, I kind of wish there was a space in here at least, or I'm thinking of ways to enhance the program, and we're going to go back and show you how to edit a program that you've already written and executed. So we're just noting some enhancements that might be needed. The percent discount, well, why don't we start with 15% and hit enter. And there's the sell price, 68. It shows us the right answer, but a few things. I kind of wish it wasn't showing this up here. I wish I had some space in here, maybe an equal sign, and that would be a little bit nicer program. So let's now show you how to go back and make changes to a program that you've written previously. All right, so we'll hit the program button, and we'll go to edit, the right arrow key one time. We're going to edit number 1. And the first change that I'd like to make is I would like to insert a command line above this first line. So how do we insert a line in there? Here's how. We hit second, insert, that's a delete key, and then hit the enter button. And a new blank line appears above the line that we were at. Hit the up arrow key to get the blinking cursor on that line, and we would now like a command that's going to clear the screen of any previous content. Alright, so where's that at? Program, input output, and number 8, clear home, is our ticket right here. Hit an 8, and that'll clear the home screen. Every time you execute the program, it'll clear any of the residual lines that you had before running the program. All right, the next enhancement. Let's get a few spaces and an equal sign in here. Hit your down arrow key. Go to the right. Whoops, too many times. All right, right here we want to get into insert mode. So let's hit second, insert. And we want a space character, alpha space, followed by an equal sign. That would be second test, number 1. And another space character, alpha space. I don't usually go into alpha lock mode if I'm just typing a few characters. I use alpha lock for typing in longer expressions. That looks good. Let's do the same thing down here beside discount. Just hit the down arrow key a couple times and move to the right. Whoops, too far again. There we go. All right, now that our blinking cursor is on the quotation mark, let's again enter insert mode with second insert. And we wanted a space character, alpha space, an equal sign, second test, number 1, one more space character, alpha space, and that's it. Now we want to be careful that we don't hit the enter key. If we do, it'll break this up and put that comma P on the next as a separate line of code, and that's not what we want to do. Now I suppose you could hit if you want to hit the enter key, go to the end here and then hit enter, but you don't have to. It saves whatever you type. So we are now ready to go back to the home screen. All right, let's hit second quit to get back to the home screen. And now if we want to execute that program again, let's go ahead and hit program. Execute number 1 is the discount program. And let's hit enter to run it. Very nicely, it cleared the screen as anticipated. And let's type in, let's say, $65.80 is the normal price of the item. Hit enter. And let's suppose it's 18% off. 18% off. Hit enter. And the sell price is equal to $53.96 to the nearest penny. All right, so there's our very first program. It wasn't real complicated. It was very simple. You could now, if you have a friend that's not very good at math and they're going to a store that's going out of business with all types of percents of discounts, you could give them your calculator, show them how to run your program, and they could just run it over and over again, and you don't even have to type it anymore. Once you run it the first time, just hit enter and it automatically runs it again. And they could type in new values, $32 at 6% discount, and there's the sale price. So it wasn't very complicated, but just with that amount of knowledge, you could run a long way with that. All right. Now, of course, eventually you're going to have some limitations because we didn't show you how to use any of the control structures. We didn't show you how to have certain lines of code get skipped if certain conditions are true. We haven't covered any branching statements. We haven't covered any looping structures where we could have certain lines of code run over and over and over again. All right, so we're going to get into some more control structures in part 2 of this video. I hope you come back and stay with me for the second part of programming on a TI-84 calculator. And remember that all of the programs, video instruction programs that I've written, you can access them from my website, www.amysflashcards.com. So make sure you visit that website, and not only do I have instructional videos on a TI-84 calculator, but you'll find all types of flashcard drills, mental math drills, geography drills, all types of things that I think you'll find very useful. So make sure you stop at my website, watch the introductory video, and you'll get an idea of what's available for you there. There's a gold mine of drills that I think you'll enjoy. Thanks for joining me today.